drive. Oh, what a play at third by Karros. Throw to second. Safe there. Pirates have scored a run. They're going to get an out at the plate. What base running that was. It's Gonzalez about to be tagged out, maybe in a rundown. No,
interference.
There's going to be interference on the Rockies. The run's going to score after all. 2-0 Pirates. What base running by Brandon Lau, and what a play by the Pirates. Interference on the Rockies. O'Hearn and Gonzalez score. Rockies don't get an out. It's 2-0.
I think Greg Brown was all of us there, just losing his mind in enjoyable fashion. One of the great base running moments in recent Pirates history. Brandon Lau's like, I'm not going to make it if I slide. Here I go. And then Nick Gonzalez is like, let me stick my little chicken wing out there. Winds up getting the Buccos 2 runs, but I love the call, and Greg Brown joins us now. The Pirates about to take on the Phils, who are hot. Now in a 3-game set. Should be a really cool environment at PNC Park. And Brownie, A, thank you for joining us. And B, we're dragging you into a debate here. Greg Brown, by the way, brought to you by Globe Airport Parking. There have been some curmudgeons, perhaps, my words, not yours, on the social media saying because there were 13,000 people at that Skenes start that Pittsburgh's a bad baseball town. I think Pittsburgh's a wonderful baseball town, and we just haven't had a great team for most of my adult life. You're around them every single day. You know the fan base better than anybody. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a great baseball town, and I've said this forever, and I've been on the debate for most of my life. I've spent years in the marketing department. I've spent years in other cities, worked in other sports, in Buffalo for several years, and it's as good a baseball town, it's as good a sports town as any in the country. It's a winner's town. Doesn't make it any worse or better than any other town. When a team wins in any sport, they show. I don't know a city where that doesn't happen, to be quite honest with you. So I've heard the people suggest that it's a great football town. It is, but the football team has to win. I just point, no disrespect, Dorin, to Pitt. When the Pitt football team doesn't win, they don't come. Mm-hmm. The basketball team, when it was flirting with Sweet 16 Final Fours for a number of years, you couldn't get into that place. So it's pretty elementary. And I agree with you, Adam, that you got to win. And when the summer heats up this weekend, we'll see it again. A lot of people from Philadelphia will come. But I also think, too, that that you can't just all of a sudden wave a magic wand
right.
and people show up suddenly out of nowhere. You've got to, this has to take time to build. Advertising, marketing has to take place. It's not just where people all of a sudden make a phone call, purchase a ticket, or go online, buy a ticket, and I'm going tomorrow night from all over the tri-state. That just does not happen. So advanced sales, group sales,
yes.
Season ticket sales, all that has to happen for the team to, and that's what happened again, as I said, in 13, 14, and 15.
Greg, we're about a quarter of the way through the season. What's your full assessment of this baseball team? Now, they have been winning, just like kind of the conversation we were just having. They have been winning. But what's your full assessment of this team a quarter of the way through?
Well, I think it's probably better than I even thought it was going to be, this team. The offense is better than I thought. I just read something this morning, guys. I think it was Jason Stark who wrote it, I believe. But they're averaging 5 runs a game. And no Pirates team in history has ever averaged over 5 runs a game, which I find hard to believe. Again, it's something I read online, and haven't done a lot of research to find out whether that's completely accurate. That does not sound accurate to me. When we were begging for them to score just 4 runs a game last year, remember we talked about what their record would be when they could just score 4, and So the offense is better. I think there's even more there. I've heard both Don Kelly and Ben Sherrington say that there's more there. I believe that too. And once they get Jared Jones back in there, I think once they even tweak it as the trade deadline approaches, this is going to be so much fun this year because they're going to be talking, they're going to be involved in trades and acquisitions. I don't know who or how many, but they're going to be a part of it, and that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I think this team is absolutely for real. You look at the top three guys in the rotation, Jared Jones should be back in short order. The way that they're hitting the baseball, I mean, shoot, Ryan O'Hearn has like a mini week and a half slump and then bang, home runs in back-to-back games. They've got enough offense where if one guy's not pulling his weight, because everyone's going to go through a slump, they seem like they have guys who can pick it up. And how about this stat? Now, I'm going to have to double-check the math because it was a different stat just 4 days ago. But through 44 games last year, Greg, the Pirates scored 5 or more runs 7 times. And they've done it 22 times this year. That's insane.
Jeez, well, that goes back to that point. I guess maybe that is accurate. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And you see, the offense, I don't know what more we can expect, but if and when Osuna starts going, and Connor Griffin is just getting his spikes in the dirt and just getting some traction now, and if Endy, heck, for years was a top prospect in the Mets organization, the Pirates made that trade, and he was going to be the catcher of the future. And if he does anything offensively, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with the rest of this season. As I said, going back to the pitching, the one we're all kind of bracing ourselves because the bullpen has been dicey. And that's something that they do have to figure out, and I think they will. And you can see them start to tweak things as we go along here. But, yeah, it's fun to watch. It's a fun offense. When Cruz gets going, and Griffin, and it's every day is fun. When you have a pitcher out there, you think, man, this pitcher the Pirates have out there have a better chance of winning because, I hate to say it, but he's better than the opposing team's pitcher. And every night it seems that way. So it's going to be a great test this weekend.
Greg, what type of player in person is Jared Jones? I've never been around him, but it just seems like his energy is infectious to his teammates. And that could be a nice little shot in the arm whenever he does come back in the next couple weeks of just really, showing that energy and showing that focus and showing that grit that we've seen from him whenever he's on the mound. But what type of guy is he whenever you talk to him?
Very intense, a bulldog, fun guy. I just love his attitude. I love a guy out there that just wants to kill the other guys, that wants to beat the opponent so badly. That's all he cares about. And he wants to strike them out. And when he, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in 24, he debuted before Paul Skenes and made several starts before Skenes arrived in May because he was on the opening day roster. And I will never forget, we were about ready to do an open on TV for Skenes' arrival, his first game at PNC Park. And I was saying before we started recording, I said, we somehow have to put this into perspective. We cannot expect this Paul Skenes guy to be as good as what Jared Jones is. I said, that's too high a bar because no rookie comes in here and does what Skenes does. It just doesn't happen. You go back and look at his rookie year, it is insane how good he was. And if he's anything close to being that, it's crazy good how this rotation is going to be. But back to the question, Dorin. Yeah, I love the guy. I think he's just a little bulldog. He's kind of diminutive. He's not a very tall, big guy, but he can dominate on the mound. And I think he's got that gigantic chip on his shoulder, and he uses that. And so yeah, the teammates love him. His pitching mates love him, and they can't wait to get him back in there.
Nor can I. I cannot wait to watch him. Greg Brown with us, and the Greg Brown Report is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Greg, Paul Skenes now has flirted with a no-no a couple of times this year, and I'm interested in your process. Like when you wake up and you know, okay, I'm going to call a Paul Skenes game today. I mean, you have to have at least a fleeting thought of potential history, and do you think about how you're going to handle that moment, or is it something that comes to you in the moment? And how lucky are we to get to watch this guy every fifth freaking day?
I don't think before the game, okay, I'm going to see a no-hitter. I think every time he's pitched, I think, he's going to dominate. It's just going to be fun to watch. But I don't go into a game thinking, it's now I may have to adjust that because is it now 3 of his last 4 starts where he's flirted with, I think, which is insane.
And it's like twice in 18 days where he's gone 6 innings or more.
Yeah. And but another stat I saw the other day, which is legit. First time, because the next day Keller went 4 innings of perfect baseball. First time in Pirates history that starting pitchers have gone back-to-back games pitching 4 innings or more of perfect baseball. First time ever. There's a lot of firsts going on with the Pirates. I guess as the game goes on now with Skenes, you start to think that this could be it. Because one of these days he is going to do it. He's going to throw at least, 1 no-hitter in his career, and who knows about a perfect game. But as the game unfolds, you start to think that way. I guess the one thing I do start to think about, it's an age-old thing regarding broadcasting. How do you pay attention to the fact that you shouldn't say it because so many people get upset if you mention the word no-hitter or perfect game. So I try to be respectful of that, to be honest with you. I don't agree with it. I don't think that anything I say is going to bet. It's such a superstition in baseball, and so many people do care about it, though. So I'm careful with how I present it.
You are, because people, they do get worked up. I mean, the texts we get.
You guys people get on you for saying it?
People get on us for all. I mean, I wore a suit and tie the one day when the Steelers were going to Cleveland because I said this is a business trip. You haven't taken care of business going into Cleveland in a couple of years, and then they lost, and people blame me. But we get it for you. We get it for Joe Block. Yeah. Like, they need to be careful with these no hitters. I wanted to ask you this, Greg, because we had
just real quick. Don't forget. Somebody got on me, at least one person, because in San Francisco, I on the road trip, I brought a couple little cones, traffic cones, in my satchel, in my work bag, and I would tape them up in San Francisco and Phoenix in front of our booth. In fact, a couple times I went out during batting practice. We had some, you have Pirate fans, guests of players or whatnot on the field during batting practice, and I was saying hello to some of them. They said, "Where's your booth?" And I pointed. I said, "See that orange cone up there? That's our booth." Anyhow, well, there was a rally in San Francisco, and I was on TV with Matt Capps, and I taped the cone in front of the booth, and I pulled it off and handed it to Capps because there's a big rally, and he was hoisting it. Somebody ripped us. "You're not supposed to do that until you win," which I did not realize. I thought you could hoist the cone during the game. So anyhow, people are very, very cognizant of the fact of what we say.
But that's the passion that we were talking about earlier on in the segment.
I interrupted you there.
No, it's all good. People would rather hear from you than me, Greg. Believe me. We talked about this the day after Paul Skenes was flirting with the last no-no. When after 6 batters, they laid down a bunt. We're getting into the unwritten rules of baseball. And this is a total goofy hypothetical, but I wonder how you feel about this. Let's say Skenes, or any Pirates pitcher for that matter, has thrown 8 2/3 innings of perfect baseball, and now there's a 3-2 count. Are you allowed to challenge that? If you're the batter, like, I feel like there's new unwritten rules now. Like, you would never have laid down a bunt, but if there's a ball on the edge and it's the final pitch that could determine perfection, can you challenge that? I say absolutely the heck not.
Well, I mean, it's a 1-run game. You're trying to win a ball game, and it's an edge pitch.
So-
you might fall for it. Heck yeah, I'm challenging it.
we said that
I don't care
too.
about a pitcher's perfect game.
If it's a 1-run game, we agreed with that. But let's say you're up like 4-0, and it's right on the edge, and you're the batter. Like I don't know that that's any different to me than laying down a bunt.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's a little different because I mean, if you take the challenge out of it, now it's the umpire. I mean, should the umpire not call it ball 4? I don't know. I think
Not for Levon Hernandez.
No, not that's true. Well, yeah, Greg Maddux and Levon Hernandez are different. No, I think I'd challenge it. You know, I'm trying to get on base. I know Jose Tabata would.
No doubt. Yeah, Necklips was sticking the old elbow out there. Yes. Yeah. I think it's fascinating because as the game evolves and the new rules come to be, you're going to have. I would love for that to happen one day because it would be the greatest talk show of all time, I think.
Well, that question, too, goes into the bunting situation. I still don't know how I feel about that. You know, on the one hand, you're trying to break up let's say it's a no-hitter and people get upset about the bunt. But if you're down a couple runs, I don't know. Especially if you're someone who will occasionally drop down a bunt.
Right.
Somebody who never bunts tries that's ridiculous. But somebody who actually can bunt and does bunt, and you're trying to win a ball game, to me, that's the thin line there. You're still a competitor. You're not trying to. I don't want that guy no-hitting me.
Yeah.
I don't want a perfect game against me. Now there are certain unwritten rules you stay away from. Again, like someone who never bunts to try and drop a bunt down. That's not good. Early on, I didn't have a problem the other day there were 2 bunt attempts. One guy got it down against Skenes, and Skenes kind of said nice bunt. I forget who the player was, but then somebody else tried it and fouled it off or missed it. So, but I didn't have a problem with it. I thought this shows you to me that alerted me that this team thinks that he's got such good stuff they can't get a hit off of him. And it was early in the ball games. Wow, they're trying to do whatever they can to get a hit right now.
I thought the same thing, and I reserve the right to be annoyed by unwritten rules whenever they negatively affect my team, and then support them whenever they positively affect my team. That's the way I go about it. Greg, this was fabulous. Great series coming up here, and I believe there's a rumor out there that there might be some congratulations in order. Are you being inducted into the West Shore, Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame?
Not necessary. Tell Nancy Rich not to worry about it.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
All right, Greg. Thank you.
I know, but I do thank her. Thank you guys. And
congratulations to you on all your success, and we look forward to this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. Topped off on, of all things, stars are aligning again. There's a great fireworks night tonight. You got tomorrow's going to be a cool flyover, a Black Hawk helicopters during the anthem, and then on Sunday the Brandon Lau jerseys and Skenes pitches against Zach Wheeler. It's going to be crazy good.
Man.
Yes, it is. All right, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Greg.
He's a man.
Thank you.
I didn't ask him about the tickets. I
thought you were going to.
I got scared. No, I got scared.
He's still listening.
I got scared. I can't do that. It was either asking about tickets or congratulate him on a wonderful career achievement.
You could have did both. You could have brought him up and then hit him.
That would have been
boom.
But
boom.
It's so funny you say that because that's exactly how my mind went. Do I hit him with the congratulations? And then it's like, hey, can I get tickets? Right. No, because then I'm a dirtbag if I do that.
Well, no,
you could have been smooth. You could have been like, well, since you don't want to talk about being inducted, then how about can I get some pirate tickets? You could have been smooth.
I think today's not the day for me to be smooth. Sometimes a starting pitcher doesn't have his fastball location down. That's me today. I cannot dot this thing on the corner.
You're like a edge of the bullpen type of guy.